Hi, this is Laura Staley, and I'm back with another video on printing in Excel. And this video is specifically going to be on using headers and footers. Now, the headers and footers are the area at the top of the page, headers, and the area at the bottom of the page, footers, that appear on every single page. And if you've used Word, then you're probably familiar with the concept. You may be familiar with the concept from reading books and seeing the page numbers at the bottom of the page. You may want to set things up that they can easily keep track of what it is, because you have page numbers at the bottom so they can order the pages if they drop it all over the floor, or you have the file name so that they know what to look for on the system, or you have other information. So we're going to talk about that. Okay, there's a couple things that you need to be aware of before we get started to have this make sense. When you open up an Excel file, you are automatically in normal view, and that is what you're looking at here. And normal view just shows you the data. In order to deal with headers and footers, you have to be in page layout view. And there are a couple of different ways to get there. And so I'm going to show you the first one and then go back and show you the other way. So down in the lower right-hand corner, to the left of the slider that makes your file bigger and smaller, the zoom bar, are three buttons for the views in Excel. There is the normal view, which is automatically chosen. The next button over is page layout view. And that's the view you have to be in order to deal with headers and footers. And then there's the page break preview view, and I showed you that in the last video. So I am going to choose the page layout view, and if I scroll up, you can see that there is a header area here. And if I were to scroll down to the bottom, then there's the footer area. So one of the things I can do in a header footer is just type in stuff. So I am going to hit return and type in furniture sales. 2018 and 2019. Okay, so that will appear on every page. Now it's redundant here on the first page that has that title at the top of the page, but on all the rest of the pages that doesn't appear, and so it will give that information on every page. Okay, now I'm going to take it back to normal view and then show you the other way to get to page layout view. I have to be clicked out of the header to go back to normal view. Okay, now the other thing that you can do is to go to insert up on the ribbon, go way over to the right side to text, and go to header and footer. Yes, they buried this in Excel 2016. So insert, text, header and footer. And when I click on that, it automatically kicks me into page layout view, and I am automatically taken to this header footer ribbon category, which is only available when I'm clicked in the header and footer. So if I click out of the header, notice it's not up there anymore. I have to click back on the header to get that. Okay, does that make sense? So these are what gives me all of my options for my headers and footers. And one of the buttons that I like is, because I'm lazy, is here is a go to footer button. So instead of scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, I can just click on this button and it takes me down to the footer. And so now I am at the bottom of the first page, and it automatically put the cursor into the footer. And of course, I can do the reverse and go back to header. So just be aware that that's there. Okay, so I've already showed you how to type in some text. So let's say that I want to put the current date in. And this is going to update it every time I come into this file, it's going to update it. So I'm going to click, get my cursor, I'm going to hit return so it's on the same line as what I typed in earlier. And then up here on this part of the header and footer design tab are the different elements that I can place into a header or footer. I can put in the page number, I can put in the number of pages. So, for example, I might want to put page 1 of 10, 2 of 10, 3 of 10, that type of thing. Current date, current time, file path, that's where the file is located on the system, the file name, the sheet name, and then I can put a picture. So those are the options of individual elements that I can manually place in a footer or header. So I am going to put the current date, and notice that it says ampersand, open paren, date, close paren. And basically that's a code, which means that it's going to put the current date there and change it whenever I open it. The ampersand tells me that that is something that's automated. And so actually, if you want an ampersand in a header or footer, you have to type in 2 ampersands to get it to appear. But that is just Excel's sort of shortcut coding that helps make that happen. Okay, so I can choose an individual element. So I could go to footer and say, okay, so in this center section, I am going to click on the page number. And that's what that code, the ampersand page, means, is that it will put the correct page number on every single page. Okay, is this making sense so far? Okay, I am going to delete these because you have another option that you can use, which are built-in headers and footers. So I'm gonna delete that and then delete that. Okay, so if you want an even quicker shortcut, these 2 buttons at the beginning of the header and footer design tab, if I click on one and click on the down arrow, it's going to give me a list of these built-in headers and footers that I can choose. So I could choose, for example, choose that, and that is the name of the tab, the worksheet tab that I am on. Okay, I can also go and choose a footer, and I'm going to choose this confidential date and page, and that automatically puts that in my footer. So just keep this in mind that it automatically will fill in certain things without you having to go and choose the element, and it may make things easier. Now, if what you want is not there, then you might have to type it in or build something yourself. That's a different combination of elements. But those are the ways that you can populate things in a file. And then if I go to File and Print, you can see the header up there and then the footer down at the bottom. That is what I asked it to be. So keep that in mind as you are setting your file up to print, and you may find that this information is helpful to coworkers or your manager or whoever you're sending it to, clients, and helping them figure out what the data is and what it represents. So use what makes sense to you and ignore the rest. If it isn't relevant to your data or whoever it is who's going to be printing this, then you don't need to use it. But when it is helpful, it can really help enhance your files and make things easier. Okay, I hope that makes sense, and keep an eye out for my next video, and have a good day.